am a fighter and not a quitter.
I cannot deliver the mandate on which I was elected by the Conservative Party.
Amid grave political and economic turmoil in the United Kingdom, Liz Truss announced her resignation as the Prime Minister. She became the shortest-serving Prime Minister in 300 years of British history, stepping down within just 45 days of being in power. From "I'm not a quitter" to "I cannot deliver" within 24 hours, on October 20th, she delivered her official statement.
Given the situation, I cannot deliver the mandate on which I was elected by the Conservative Party. I have therefore spoken to His Majesty the King to notify him that I am resigning as leader of the Conservative Party.
I am a fighter and not a quitter. I have acted in the national interest to make sure that we have economic stability. We have been clear in our manifesto that we will maintain the triple lock, and I am completely committed to it, so is the Chancellor.
But what went wrong with Truss's governance, and why were people demanding her resignation? A lot happened over the past 6 weeks. The death of a monarch, installation of a new king, a doomed fiscal plan, stock market crash, losing senior ministers, bullying in the parliament, a national rebellion, all of this leading to the resignation. Liz Truss came to office at a time of significant international and economic instability. The pressure was already high and it only kept building. She took many debatable decisions that turned the financial market against her. Many leaders claim that most of what went wrong in her term was all self-inflicted. When elected, a highly ambitious Truss said she would fix the low growth that was holding the UK back by lowering taxes and returning to high growth. As part of what many call Trussonomics, she introduced the mini budget. This new policy aimed at slashing many unfunded taxes, that of highest earners and big corporations. This would cost the economy £45 billion worth of taxes, but there was no information on how they would be paid for. Within the party, there was backlash over the so-called disastrous policy. This led to Truss firing Finance Minister Kwasi Kwarteng and bringing in Jeremy Hunt instead. There was fear in the market, which sparked massive selling. Bank of England had to step in and buy government debt worth £65 billion to stop some pension funds from collapsing. Jeremy Hunt rolled back nearly all of the changes brought about by the mini budget within a month of its announcement, but it did little to boost the economy. Things did not get better. The pound sterling tanked to a record low against the US dollar, inflation rose to a 40-year high, the cost of living became more expensive, and energy bills were rising. The average household expenditure on power was expected to rise to £3,500 in October and up to £5,000 next year. By the end of all this, Truss became so unpopular that her fellow party lawmakers were publicly contemplating plans to replace her, and British citizens started a rebellion demanding her resignation. Prior to Truss's resignation, Home Secretary Suella Braverman handed in her resignation, making it very clear that she was against the Tory leader. Truss's top aide, Jason Stein, was also suspended after anonymously criticizing fellow Conservative leaders. By the time she stepped down, Truss lost 50% of her senior-most ministers in a span of 1 week. So what's next for UK politics? The first step going forward is to find a leader who can replace Liz Truss as the Prime Minister. All stages of the elections will be held on October 28th to fill the post. Truss will maintain her position until the next Prime Minister is elected. Likely candidates for the position of the next Prime Minister are Rishi Sunak, who was a runner-up to Truss at the last elections, and Penny Mordaunt, who came third in place in the same polls. Other possible candidates are Jeremy Hunt, Ben Wallace, and Boris Johnson. Whoever is elected as the next Prime Minister of Britain and the new leader of the Conservative Party will bear the responsibility of picking up the pieces and stabilizing the economy after the losses incurred over the last 6 weeks.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to Mirror Now.